Name Alec, you get that?
And good afternoon. Welcome back to Huskins Field. We are in the second game of a double and Lesley, and it's a beautiful Saturday afternoon here in Alec Whipple, and along with my broadcast partner,
Andrew McMillan, and as the late great Ernie Banks would say, it is a beautiful day for a ball game, so let's play two.
it's a little cold and a little windy, but we're ready to play.
Round two stepping in for this out of
So we're here.
conference tilt.
Tufts has taken their warm-ups. If you tuned in
Thank
for
you.
the first game, Tufts took down Lesley by a score of 9-0, continuing the Jumbo's successful start to the season. They, after coming back from their spring break trip, they've opened their home schedule with 2 wins, one over Salem State, and now here today, a win over Lesley. Looking for another one. This is the second game of the doubleheader, so it'll be a 7-inning game, but we'll count the same as a full game nonetheless.
Full game nonetheless, indeed. So Jumbos have just been on a tear ever since their last loss to Trinity, which was a tough loss in the middle of a 3-game set down in Connecticut. But they've come back strongly and are ready to set the pace for the rest of the season. We've got RJ Hall on the hill for the Jumbos. That'll be... Anyway, there go my notes. So we'll be without a little bit of information for... looks like the Lesley Lynx. Thank you very much. And we'll get underway just as soon as RJ Hall's finished warming up.
So, RJ Hall, as Andrew said, taking the mound today. And Tufts been on a roll, dropped the middle game of the Trinity set 9-6, but they came back to win the rubber game 23-5. Had a 15-run inning, so pretty successful road victory for them there. And opened midweek with a home opener against Salem State. Right now they're number 8 on the D3 national poll, so they're one of the top teams out there. So having a very successful season. And we're just about to get going here.
And first up for the Lesley Lynx will be Nick Faragine. Nick Faragine, a sophomore infielder. He's one of the regular starters for the Lynx, has played in every single game of the season so far, and that's just going to keep it up right here. Hall looking in now for the first pitch. And the delivery. That'll be a bit low as it gets away from the catcher here. That's catching for Middlebury is going to be Schnepf. Hall sets, delivers. Big swing and a miss to another low fastball from Hall. That'll be even the count at 1-1.
And this is Tufts' first ever series against Lesley in Lesley program history, so exciting events here this weekend.
That'll snap in there for strike 2. A little bit outside for Faragine to chase after, but Hall gets the call from the umpire here. Hall working quickly, comes set already as Faragine needs to protect now. The delivery in the dirt to even the count again at 2-2. Just keeping with that age-old tradition of not giving the batter anything to hit. When they're looking to protect anything, they'll just come back and bite you in the rear if you give them something to hit. That's in there, and big contact from Faragine as that sails over the left fielder's head. Easy double for Faragine, and he's in standing as the cutoff man is hit. No doubter there for Nick Faragine to lead this second game off.
Nice solid contact there for Faragine. Hall working quickly, but Faragine able to disrupt his rhythm and get Lesley Lynx started off in the right direction here. After dropping the first game 9-0, promising start here, looking to score a quick run. And especially for the road team, scoring a quick run in the top of the first is an excellent rhythm setter, scoring before your pitcher even takes the mound.
Mike Slaby, senior infielder for the Lynx, is up now. And he pops that bunt up all the way up. Easy play for RJ Hall, and Faragine's back standing. That'll be first out made for the Jumbos there.
Nice little dive there by Hall, and that just shows the dangers of bunting because when you get it down correctly, you sacrifice an out, but if you don't get it down correctly, you sacrifice an out and you don't move the runner over. So
just an absolutely unproductive at-bat, which any baseball team should be loath to give up there. But exactly what RJ Hall was looking for after giving up a leadoff double to Faragine. Ryan Pumfret steps in now. Pumfret, one of the more dangerous hitters for these Lynx, as he looks at a fastball in on the low corner for strike 1. Pomfret having hit 2 of Lesley's 4 total home runs so far this year and tied for the team lead in RBIs at 10. Hall checks the runner, comes in with another ball on the outside. That'll even the count at 1-1.
Pomfret also leads Lesley in runs scored with 11.
And that's as of the game this morning. These stats were not counted before then.
Lesley did not score any runs, so stats still hold true for that.
That ball sending in low. Count goes to 2-1 now for Ryan Pomfret. Hall's delivery. In there for a called strike, and that's going to send it right up the middle. That'll bring Farragine to third base. Ball was hit a little bit too hard out to the center fielder for Farragine to be able to score from second there. So despite getting a clutch hit, as they say in the business, Pomfret is unsuccessful in bringing Farragine home.
And the throw was not exactly the best throw. It would have been a close play at the plate, but probably the better move to send him, especially with 1 out. Now you have runners at the corners and a prime run scoring opportunity here for Lesley.
Dangerous position again once again for the Jumbos, as this happened earlier in the season where I believe it was against Trinity, in fact, where the bases got loaded in the first inning. Thankfully, only 1 run was scored out of that whole situation, but Hall's going to have to work quickly, and working quickly gives up yet another single, this time to Justin Clark. That'll easily score Nick Farragine and advance Pomfret to second base.
Lesley making some good contact here. Aside from the bunt, 3 very hard-hit balls, so Hall not exactly looking too sharp. His catcher's going to come out and talk with him and try to settle him down.
First pitch swinging, in fact, for the Justin Clark on that one. Another one of the dangerous RBI. Now the RBI leader, in fact, with that hit to bring home Farragine. He'll lead the team with 11.
Still a dangerous situation here for Tufts. 2 runners on, and Lesley looking for more runs. Hall looking to get out of this one.
Hall's delivery. Up high, fools Talercio for a strike 1.
Lesley being pretty aggressive here, swinging a lot of first pitches.
Still a dangerous situation for the Jumbos. 2 men on, only 1 man out. Time for Lesley to capitalize, especially considering what happened in the first game. Hall's delivery. Down low. Count evens 1-1 for Talercio. Hall working a little bit more slowly now. His delivery. Corked foul by Talercio.
That's caught.
And that'll be caught by first baseman for the Jumbos. Malcolm Nashmanoff, I believe. Nakimov.
So exactly what Hall wanted there.
Nakmanoff. That's one of our crewmen, Sebastian, correcting me. Good friends with most of the boys here on the team.
So exactly what Hall wanted there. No runners advance, no runs score, and he's 1 out away from getting out of it with only 1 run given up. So we'll see what happens.
He slowed down, found his own rhythm again, not trying to keep himself off balance, because unless you're really comfortable with working with that kind of a quick rhythm, there's just no reason to give the opposing batters quick work like that. So Hall settling into his own rhythm again as he delivers another ball down low. That'll even the count, or send the count to 2-0. Hitter's count for JP Agorgis. Agorgis settling in. Hall checks the runner. Sends it, and this one's sent foul rather than just corked foul the last time. Out of play. Nobody hit. That'll bring the count to 2-1. Slightly longer at-bat this time around for the Lynx, as the game settles into its more regular paced rhythm. There aren't very many pitchers, even in the majors these days, who work quickly. It's just better to be able to breathe, reset, as Hall delivers again. This time up high. Count goes to 3-1 now.
And you have more examples of pitchers working slowly. Average length of baseball games getting longer and longer, and a big reason for that is pitchers taking their time on the mound. But you know, why shouldn't they? It's
their game.
Their results.
Hall's delivery is slapped on the ground just past the diving O'Hara, and that'll load the bases or set the table, as people often say.
So again, second hit with runners in scoring position for the Lynx that didn't drive home a run. So Jumbo is feeling a little low here. We'll see if they can capitalize on that. Still bases loaded, but only 1 run in and 2 outs. So big at bat here for the Lynx.
Raycroft stepping in, right fielder Gage Raycroft, that is. Hall having himself just a wonderful first inning right now. It's not much damage is being done, but the real work is coming from his pitch count, because you want to be able to work quickly as that ball sails in for a strike. Raycroft spits on that one, just not happy with it. But this is where the work will come back to get you later in the game. Despite the fact that it's a shorter game, getting the pitch count up for early is a really good sign for the offense to strike again later in the game. That one's just barely tipped foul, sent above the backstop into the trees. No cars were damaged on that play.
0-2 count. Hall's looking to make his pitch here. He has the bat right where he wants him.
A quick 0-2. Not that it could be any quicker. As Hall comes set, delivers. This one looks like a bit outside. The height looked okay, but we've got a kind of one angled, very definite, very specific angle on that one, so we can only imagine that it was outside as the batter didn't jump out of the way. So count goes to 1-2 now. And Raycroft's got to be patient here. He knows that Hill's trying to make his pitch, but he's got to wait for something good to hit.
That's
great. See you later. Grab some pine meat, RJ Hall says as he jogs off the field. Not that much damage done for the Lynx there. Backwards K to end the inning and bring the Jumbos up.
So Lesley with some good hits, but you wonder, should they have been a little more aggressive with the runners there? And especially that last at bat at the plate, ending a bases loaded situation with a looking strikeout, not exactly what any batter wants. So we'll see how it goes down to affect them later on, but they might be kicking themselves, missing a prime run scoring opportunity. So they're already ahead of their pace from last game. And now the Jumbos will be coming to bat. Now
the dangerous Jumbo offense will be coming up to bat with Tom Petry, Oscar Cooch, and Tommy O'Hara, the three big guns for this Jumbo offense, if you will. And an interesting philosophical difference between the Jumbos and the Lynx, I think, to point out right now is just the patience that the Jumbos have when it comes to approaching at-bats. And you can see that by the difference between at-bats and plate appearances. Now, the difference between an at-bat and a plate appearance is that a plate appearance is just when you go up and face the pitcher. You're standing at the plate, and you're just having a look. An at-bat occurs only if you do something, only if you make an out, you get a hit, or just one of those two, really, actually. You make an out or you get a hit. If you walk, if you get hit by a pitch, or if you make a sacrifice bunt, a sacrifice fly, whatever, that counts as a plate appearance, but not as an at-bat. And the really big difference right now is that the top Tufts hitters have these huge differences between the number of plate appearances that they have and the number of at-bats that they have. Tommy O'Hara, for example, only 59 plate appearances, or 59 at-bats, 45 at-bats, and 67 plate appearances. That's nearly 20 more plate appearances in which either a walk or a sacrifice occurred, a really productive at-bat, something really good happening, and that just only speaks good things for the offense. As Tom Petry, the second baseman, stands in. Petry having himself a great season. And that sails in for a first strike. Count goes 0-1.
Getting back to that point, the value of on-base percentage certainly debated in baseball, but most people will agree that the more runners you have on base, the more likely it is that they will come in and score, and this Jumbo's offense certainly does prove that.
Lynx catcher can't hold on to that one. Count goes to 0-2, and Tom Petry now has to protect.
Petry batting .364 with 2 home runs, 13 RBIs before the first game, that is.
Dropped third strike is easily taken care of by the catcher there, and that'll go around the horn. Swinging strikeout for Petry will be the first out of the Jumbo lineup, and that'll bring up the right fielder, Oscar Cooch.
And of course, the irony of talking about the value of jumbo hitters being patient, and 3-pitch at bat quickly ends the first plate appearance.
Good morning, good afternoon, good night, as Dwayne Kuiper might say. First pitch for Oscar Cooch is swung on, chopped to the right side. Nice play made by the shortstop over there, and Derek Jeter-esque play to make an effort, but a very clean infield hit for Oscar Cooch, swinging on the first pitch and further disproving our little treatise on patience and quality at-bats that we were talking about.
Yeah, nice play by the shortstop. That ball was just too deep in the hole and not a good enough throw to get him, so Oscar Cooch going to be on here. And yes, 4 pitches and 2 at-bats, and it makes us look like fools, but it's all right. We'll roll with it.
He was the guy we were talking about earlier. 45 plate or at-bats, 67 plate appearances.
Baseball is not a game of short sample sizes anyway, so.
True enough. But he finally backs up our what we're saying with as he spits on the first pitch and gets a call. And pitcher for the Lynx, Aya DeVeo, just pounding the strike zone right now, just going right after these jumbo hitters. Good patience from O'Hara as that one bounces in the dirt to even the count at 1.
Tommy O'Hara batting .326 with 8 RBIs, again before the first game played, so having himself a nice season.
Aya DeVeo checks the runner. Cooch back easily. Aya DeVeo comes set, delivers. That one's chopped foul past the first base side. Count goes to 1-2. O'Hara's really got to find it now. Patience, again, I think, is the ultimate way forward. As we were saying earlier, it behooves the pitcher just to throw garbage, and essentially because anything close, those batters are going to be swinging. And these jumbos have demonstrated thus far this entire season that they're dangerous when it comes to hitting in the clutch. Aya DeVeo checks Cooch again. Cooch back easily.
Cooch taken off.
And easily caught by the Lynx defense there. Cooch stolen 3 bases so far this season, and that is the first time he's been caught. So wasted a early advantage there as he makes the second out of the season. And pressure comes a little bit off for O'Hara, but off in one sense, on in another sense, because if he finishes off here, then that'll be it for the Jumbos this half inning. Demonstrating that trademark patience again, though, to even the count at 2-2. Have to remember there's a lot of baseball to be played after this, though. Nothing too serious if they go down in order right now. Ball's high, maybe a little bit inside as well, and that'll make the count full. And finally, Tommy O'Hara proving our point with the patience that we were looking for, and it demonstrates he's got the biggest differential between plate appearances and at-bats with 22. And he'll take the walk yet again. That'll tick 1 for the plate appearance and nothing for the at-bat. And that's really just a quality at-bat, actually. And I think that's something that the head coach for Tufts, Coach Casey, just preaches nonstop. Just look for those quality at-bats. You want solid contact or run the pitch count up a little bit just to see what the pitcher Aya DeVeo has.
Yeah, Cooch down in a hole. O'Hara down in a hole early, 1-2, working his way at bat, taking some good looks and getting himself on base. Unfortunately, the Cooch's caught stealing makes this a little less of a prime run scoring opportunity, but we will see what happens nonetheless.
Malcolm Nachmanoff, the first baseman, steps in, and he watches a ball sail by for the first pitch. Aya DeVeo checking a little more diligently now on O'Hara. O'Hara not too much of a threat to steal with only 1 stolen base on the year so far. 1-0 the count to Nachmanoff. Delivery is way high. That'll count will go to 2-0. Hitters count for Malcolm Nachmanoff.
Lesley pitchers lost the plate here. It's 5 balls in a row now.
Aya DeVeo losing the plate a little bit. Prudent lead for O'Hara as he takes a secondary lead. That one's sent foul again. Almost the exact same place, not quite into the trees, into the little posse of fans heading their way over here. O'Hara with his lead. DeVeo checking in with his catcher. Delivery is in there for a called strike. Catcher Fairchild just having a little bit of trouble holding on to some of these pitches this game. DeVeo ready for this inning to be over, I think, despite being a lot more relaxed than the top half of this inning. Another ball corked foul. Almost the exact same place again. This one a lot closer to the fans, though. A little bit more alert for a little souvenir for someone back there.
Yeah, and the trees behind home plate make some of those foul balls surprisingly coming out of the sky for innocent fans walking by. It's always a dangerous area to be walking by during a baseball game.
That pitch is popped way up into shallow left field. Shortstop waving off the left fielder, and that'll end the inning. So let's go quietly in the first inning, bottom half of the first inning here, with 1 hit, a walk, no runs scored. And so that'll bring up the bottom part of the order for the Lynx.
And Jumbo, only 1 runner left on base thanks to the caught stealing. So both teams making some base running, not necessarily faux pas, but some base running questionable decisions early on. And Lesley did push across a run, Tufts did not. So we will see if they tighten up their base running in the later innings. RJ Hall takes the mound for his second inning of work, looking for probably a cleaner inning than the first one, where bases were loaded at the end, only 1 run given up, but a litany of hits, some hard hit balls.
Indeed. First up will be Brendan Fairchild, the catcher for the Lynx. He's having himself a fairly okay year. Down there with almost a 500 batting average, just not very many at-bats or plate appearances, but he's getting the call for freshman catcher, stepping in for Jacob Cervantes, the sophomore catcher who started 10 games to Fairchild's 5.
Fairchild making the most of his opportunities, 7 for 15 on the season. So always tough to be a backup. Inconsistent playing time makes you not as fresh as you would be if you were a starter, but say what you will, but he's making the most of his opportunities, and that certainly opens eyes for potential future starts like today and potentially more down the line.
Leading off for Lesley,
so we'll see how he does in his first at-bat here today.
The catcher, number 28, Brendan Fairchild.
RJ Hall ready to, this is where you really need to bounce back. This is a time actually where you can probably increase the tempo a little bit and reset the dominance on the opposing lineup. Pounding in there for a first at-bat and to lead off the second inning.
And a lot of times there's many pitchers who have rough first innings or have a history of first inning troubles, come out in the second, settle down, and just start working, start mowing through batters. So for Hall's hoping that he can put the first inning behind him for whatever reasons and just start being a little more consistent here, limiting hard contact and trying to get some quick outs.
Hall comes set, delivery, chopped foul by Fairchild. Count goes to 1-2.
Hall quickly in a pitcher's count.
I feel like that's less of a saying, in all honesty, because there's many more accounts favor the pitcher than the batter. Really only 2-0, maybe 3-1 if you really want to say that. And punch out for RJ Hall, caught looking as Brendan Fairchild. See you later, and that'll be the first out of the second inning, and just the kind of dominance that RJ Hall was really looking for to get the mojo back a little bit.
Yeah, good quick first out here for Hall. So
Ellison Trajo, the left fielder, stepping in now. Another a junior who's not started too many times, and another one of the backups getting some playing time now. As Hall's first pitch is high and outside for ball 1. And Trajo, that's one of the harder things about this broadcasting business is some of these names look like one thing, sound like something else entirely. As Hall's second pitch just grazes the outside corner for a strike. Count evens 1-1.
And just speaking of pronunciation of names, I'm just thinking of Vince Scully. Always pronounced the names perfectly, made sure he had the pronunciations right.
Of course he did, as Intraggio pops this one up to the shortstop, and that'll be second out. Quick 1-2 for R.J. Hall on this one, as
12, Nicholas
Faragine, the shortstop, steps in.
Wind really whipping around here. You could see the cap flew off during that play. So windy day and tough to get a read on the ball sometimes as a fielder.
Tough to keep the papers in order for us broadcasters, too, as R.J.
True,
Hall's
as well.
first pitch squirms around in the dirt for a 1-0 count.
I'd say it's a little less important than the baseball game.
Hey,
important nonetheless.
priorities, man.
Of course.
R.J. Hall comes set, delivers with his slightly faster rhythm. And that one's chopped right into the shortstop's glove for the out number 3, and just the kind of 1-2-3 that R.J. Hall was looking for.
Lesley University in the top.
Nice play there. 2 good defensive plays and a strikeout. Exactly what Hall would have wanted coming into the inning. So he gets his teammates back at bat pretty quickly.
Mike McLaughlin and Boomer Saraga.
And Lesley will take the field again for their second inning of the bottom of the second inning.
Let's go. Come on, boys. Got some good ABs. Work on the base pattern.
So after the first inning for Lesley, successful in that some quick outs and some base running miscues. So Lesley will be looking to keep moving quickly through this Tufts lineup.
As Nick Iadaveo. We're gonna we say it right, and then we're gonna just say it wrong at some other points. So apologies in advance to the Iadaveo family for for the butchering that's going on, but we'll get it right at least part of the time, we promise. So
if we say it enough times, we'll get it right at least one of the times. It's
a
broken clock is right twice a day.
Exactly.
That's our motto here in the booth.
I'd rather be a broken clock than a broken record, as Fairchild with a really nice warm-up toss down to the second baseman.
Leading off the second inning, the left fielder number 4, Casey Santos Ocampo.
Center fielder Casey Santos Ocampo steps in. He's having himself a fairly good season.
5'9" sophomore from Naples, Florida.
One of the leading RBI men for these jumbos looks like a strike from Iadaveo. Count goes to 0-1. Iadaveo comes set, delivers, and Ocampo twists away from a ball on the inside. Count evens 1-1. 500 OBP for Ocampo, or Santos Ocampo, coming into today, which means he safely reaches base half the time. So you can flip a coin and odds are that, flip a coin and say, yeah, this is going to happen. Just see what, heads he makes it, tails he doesn't.
There you go.
Wish we had a coin to flip to see if we get it somewhere.
Unfortunately not, but it's a Barry Bonds-esque OBP. Isn't that right?
Indeed. Playing after my heartstrings there, Alec. Count evens at 2-2 now as Santos Ocampo trademarks shows off some of that trademark jumbo patience at the plate. Just really want to drive up the pitch count a little bit and force him into the territory where mistakes are more common. Iadaveo's delivery is smacked into center field, but lofted a little bit too much. And that'll be an easy play for the center fielder, Georgios. There's another one of those names from Lesley. To all Lesley players except for folks like Clark and Fairchild.
They're not making it easy. But
no, indeed. But I'll be F8 in my official scorebook here for the first out from Santos Ocampo. And there's that tails he didn't make it. So
next time we'll be expecting him to get on base.
And Iadaveo's first pitch to McLaughlin is in the dirt. Count goes to 1-0. McLaughlin having himself a good season, batting .378 with 10 RBIs on the year. As he chops this one, lofts it for the right fielder who makes drops it eventually, and a really nice diving effort there from the right fielder, Gage Raycroft, who just couldn't quite hold on to it as he came down. And a really nice throw to second as McLaughlin was being greedy, being a little ambitious on the base pass, and just barely making it in. So we'll call that a 2B for McLaughlin.
Yeah, you could see the problems that the wind was giving right fielder there. He broke back on the ball and then had to break in and almost made the catch, had the read, and ended up dropping it. And
it's important to note that he did the right thing. You break back first and then break in. Keep the ball in front of you rather than behind you. Just really tough play with this wind swirling around right now. Boomer Saraga, the D, in, and that ball is over his head to 1-0. Boomer Saraga, old friend of mine actually, lived on my floor freshman year. Him and his old roommate Seabass. Seabass working the camera for us this game. So good to see some old faces back around on the diamond. Ida Vale checking the runner. His pitch is again over the head of Saraga. Count goes 2-0. Real nice hitter's count for Saraga. Got to come back in. Ida Vale's got to come back in if he's going to keep this inning moving forward the way he wants it to.
Okay, Boomer, here we go, guy.
McLaughlin taking a bit of a lead from second base, can be more generous with that on second than you can with first, as Saraga watches strike one go by, and kind of what you have to do. Unless you see exactly your pitch, exactly what you're looking for, then no use swinging at it with a count like 2-1.
With Iadaveo also focusing on the runner at second. Boomer hoping he can catch a mistake pitch here.
As he smacks this one foul. Running effort from second baseman, first baseman, and right fielder there, but nothing doing. As count goes to 2-2 now. A little bit more pressure on Boomer to protect the plate and make something happen. But good quality at bat. That's 4 pitches right now, and he's has to have. Well, I suppose those first 2 pitches were really nothing worth. No information coming from there. Just way too far out of the box to do anything with.
Here we go, Boomer.
McLaughlin, the left fielder, still with his lead on second.
Here we go, 6.
Faragine not doing too much to hold McLaughlin on. Sneaking behind him now, but nothing doing. Idaveo delivers to Saraga, who sends it right to Faragine, and who catches McLaughlin in a rundown, essentially, and McLaughlin goes for broke on third base and just nothing doing.
And that's just a tough break for McLaughlin. He was just caught in between there, and once he was in the rundown, there's really nothing he could do but just try to stay in as long as he can. Really wasn't that much space to run down, and so eventually gets tagged out. Just a tough situation there.
One of those things where a line drive, you just have to freeze
exactly
and hope that you can make it to one base or another, and just nothing too much for McLaughlin to do. As the catcher, Eric Schnepp, steps in. Schnepp, the regular starting catcher for the Jumbos here. Ball is high and outside. Count goes to 1-0. Really good driving up the pitch count in a much better way than the top of the lineup was doing. Just want to be patient and see all the tools that Idaveo has in his box ready to go, so you're prepared for your next time around. This one's slapped on the ground to Nick Faragine, who makes a quick toss over to second to get Saraga for the fielder's choice, and that'll be out number 3.
So Jumbo's base runner erased there. A little less of his own fault than the caught stealing, but unfortunately still an erased base runner nonetheless, and the Jumbos go down without scoring again, despite having McLaughlin in scoring position with 1 out.
The Jumbos in the bottom of the second inning, no runs.
So we'll move to the top of the third here. RJ Hall's going to take the mound again. Still 1-0 Leslie.
We've got and so we've got a little bit of announcer action going on here. We love it here though. Huskins Field's like a second home for us.
It's a little cold, but we are here. We are layered up, braving the elements, and ready to broadcast.
Braving the elements. There was a game last year. It was 34 degrees and raining the entire time. That was the elements. But it's all good. We've got Mike Slaby, Ryan Punford, and Justin Clark, 2, 3, 4 guys. One could argue that's the heart of the order, although the more traditional 3, 4, 5 is what's used. I personally, if you were down 2 runs and looking for the start of a rally, I would want the 2-3-4 batters just for just to have a higher chance of getting something going. So,
right. Well, as a Yankees fan, I have to mention the Yankees at least once in this broadcast. So, Gary Sanchez, Yankees, probably their best hitter, has been batting in the number 2 spot. More and more teams batting their best hitter at the 2 spot, making the 2-3-4, as you said, the more heart of the order than the traditional 3-4-5.
Well, that's just mathematics and probability. Higher up in the order means more plate appearances. So, not necessarily at bats, though, as we covered earlier with Baseball 101 with Andrew and Alex.
And off that point, more teams are batting. Traditionally, your leadoff hitters known to be a speedy guy who makes contact, but more teams are batting better hitters who might be power hitters leadoff just to get them more at bats. So certainly a strategy that mathematically makes a lot of sense.
R.J. Hall's first pitch to Lesley is in there for a strike. Count goes to 0-1.
Anyway, we're back to the game at hand after a brief baseball.
And just backing up what you were saying, a swing and a miss from Slavey sends the count to a quick 0-2. Slavey in a hole now, but just further to your point, the senior infielder is what you could say the Lynx's best hitter with the most plate appearances now. And the last delivery is just a touch outside from Hall. Count goes to 1-2.
Hall really pounding the zone here. What he's been doing all along, but the Lynx definitely not making as hard contact as they were at the beginning of the game.
Hall's next pitch is again low and outside. Count evens 2-2. Slavey got a 344 OBP on base percentage there as he tips this one foul to keep the count at 2-2. And that's just a really good sign of consistency for the top of the order. 2 doubles and a triple from the senior. Just really good at getting himself on base and putting himself in scoring position. Most hits on this Lynx team. Big swing and a miss though, sends him packing back to the bench. Forward K for R.J. Hall as he's now found his mojo once again from that shaky first inning. Shaking off the rust, and he is locked in.
Good pitching or good at bat there for R.J. Hall from the pitching end. Really attacked the zone early and then made his pitch, got him swinging to end that at bat.
That first pitch from R.J. Hall is down low, 1-0 the count. Ryan Pumfret, the guy who really kept the you could say was the spark for that rally because Slavey had popped up had that pop-up bunt where just didn't do anything, and then Pumfret came through with a single to advance the runner. Hall's first 2 pitches have been 1-1. That second pitch is in there for a called strike. A little off-speed action there. I've been calling a lot of fastballs, but to pitch at this collegiate level, you really have to have at least 2, really preferably 3 pitches to be able to shake things up and keep the batters guessing. And that really kept Pumfret guessing as he had with a little bit of an arm swing. You could just kind of see as it was happening that Pumfret was just regretting choosing to go for that. And that's 2 strikeouts now for R.J. Hall.
The designated hitter, number 45.
And you could tell when a great hitter like Pumfret just gives a little wave at that. Caught in between, didn't really know how to react, and he's going to be sent packing back to the bench. So 2 quick strikeouts for R.J. Hall this inning.
Hall really pounding the zone with a first pitch strike there. Count goes 0-1. Just can't speak highly enough of being able to get that first pitch strike for batters. And then, of course, the danger is that first pitch strike, batters know to swing and get the early hit. 0-2 the count now. Quick 0-2, and R.J. Hall wasting no time to move through this heart of the order. Justin Clark, the DH, he got that first pitch single, actually, in the first inning. Hall's delivery. High and inside, and Justin Clark is sent packing. Just 3 straight strikeouts, all swinging for R.J. Hall, and he really has rediscovered his mojo.
What a difference! What a difference between the first 3 batters of the first inning and the first 3 batters of that inning. R.J. Hall just in complete command there, overpowering the hitters, keeping them off balance. Weak swings there. Whereas the first inning, 3 of the first 4 batters with very hard hit balls So RJ Hall settling down, and we'll see if he can keep it going. But good sign so far after a bit of a shaky first inning. Tufts is going to come back and try to put some runs on the board for their pitcher now that he's settled down.
Iadaveo coming back out for this bottom half of the third inning. We've got Christian Zazali, the shortstop, Tom Petrie, the second baseman, and Oscar Cooch, the right fielder, for a for your lineup for this for the first three at least. And on the subject of just what constitutes the heart of the order, I had a coach actually back in the day who treated, as Joe Madden kind of does, the ninth hitter as a second leadoff hitter. Just traditionally speaking, you put your pitcher or your worst hitter in the ninth slot because fewer times around. It's just makes sense. But in a way, it throws off the strategy for the other team to put your best hitter in the ninth slot in the way that Joe Madden, honestly, Bruce Bochy have both done, putting their pitchers in the eighth slot, because then if it ends up such hitters there, what a difference it makes, rather than just having a throwaway at bat for your pitcher, just to have really another dangerous hitter coming in as Christian Zazali. Only proving my point here with himself a dangerous, one of the more dangerous hitters for this jumbo offense.
And the smart thing about that is when your pitcher's batting ninth, oftentimes your eighth hitter, being a weaker hitter himself, will get intentionally walked, and just to set up a situation where you can see a single there.
And Zazali with a quick single, not wasting any time, sets himself right up.
Bases.
That's a pretty regular thing, because if the left fielder makes an error there, you just want to be able to capitalize and take bases wherever you can. So Zazali just proving my point there, just a little bit. So with a little bit of smugness, I say that'll bring up Tom Petrie now. Petrie with a swinging strikeout, 3 pitches no less in this first inning. Slaps this one right past the third baseman Slaby, and that'll set the table even more for Oscar Cooch, who himself had a single and was caught stealing back in the first inning.
So Jumbo's set up here, first and second, with some aggressive singles, and we will see for the third inning they will be trying to capitalize with runners on base.
And that's just that's the exact kind of thing you want your leadoff hitters to do, or your second and first leadoff hitters in this case. Set the table for the harder hitting guys in your lineup, and that's exactly what Oscar Cooch and Tommy O'Hara staring down Iadaveo in the on deck circle or just want to do. Big swing from Oscar Cooch. Taps it or sends it foul off his foot. Count goes to 0-1. Looks all right though. It's not a serious hit from that baseball. Shouts from the dugouts are much more common up here than in the majors. You just want to keep a constant chatter going to keep the defense and keep that opposing pitcher offset as much as you can. Can't say anything to the pitcher, of course, but confidence boosting stuff to the batter works just as well.
A little bit of a move there, trying to check the runners back. Everyone's good. Everyone's staying on their base.
Course of backs shows you how alert everyone on the dugout. Participating in the game at this point, still locked in and alert, as you have to be at this level. Bunt from Cooch, sends it right down and does its job perfectly. That's a sacrifice bunt, so that bat. But that advances the runners over to second and third and sets the table perfectly for Tommy O'Hara, who himself had that really long, nice at-bat, was the only base runner in that first inning.
And although bunts aren't exactly the most productive way to hit, that's probably the optimal situation for a bunt. With 2 guys on, you have both your runners now in scoring position. You take away the double play opportunity, and you set the for your best hitter, or your middle-of-the-order hitter, to get a prime chance to drive in some runs. So we will see if they do that, but that's as well of a bunt that's going to be played.
I would honestly one of the best hitters, if not the best, at least the best mental hitter, leading the team with 15 walks now from that walk in the first inning. That's almost double the next guys there. This count goes to 2-0 now. Just the most patient guy you'll see from this Tufts lineup in the box, and just really forcing Iadaveo to give him something that he wants.
Iadaveo might be, although not intentionally walking, maybe the intentional walk, not giving him anything he can hit, although that would load the bases.
And a booming drive from O'Hara just sends the left fielder back. It is gone! Sent out of here by Tommy O'Hara. Didn't get to do my favorite call. It is high. It is gone far. It is out of here. A little bit too quick for me there, but just, sending it out of there. Just that's where patience will get you. That is
exactly
the biggest sort of reward that patience, the best kind of story you can tell for patience. If you don't like it, you just have to wait.
And Idaveo really getting himself in a bad count quickly, and he had to come in with that pitch, 2-0. He walked, the bases loaded. He didn't really want to give O'Hara anything he could hit, and unfortunately he did do the latter.
And first pitch swinging from Malcolm Nachmanoff will send that right to the right fielder, and Idaveo once again in trouble with a man on first. And in that sense, for having a man on first, it doesn't seem like that big of a deal, but the difference here now is that you just can't go out of the windup. You have to go from the stretch, which allows you to be able to pick off the runner, as opposed, so he's standing more parallel with his side facing. You can't see it, I'm doing it. He's standing with his side facing the batter, as opposed to his entire front. And this forces him to cut off his motion a little bit more, because the most comfortable motion is to be facing the pitch, then turn to face your side and throw the pitch. Now here, he has to cut it off in order to be able to pick off the runner, Nachmanoff. Casey Santos Ocampo spitting at that first pitch to send the count 1-0. Looking in again as Idaveo comes set, delivers. That ball's way high. That'll count will go to 2-0.
Jumbos have had a lot of base runners. No runs before that O'Hara home run, but Idaveo pitching out of the stretch a lot this game, so hasn't really been able to pitch comfortably out of the windup for much of it.
And another lesson to be taken from that really long at-bat that ended up with a walk earlier in the game, as a strike sails by. That O'Hara saw everything that Idaveo had to offer, and then he knew, all right, this is what I like from him, this is what I want from him, I'm only going to be swinging at that, and just send it all the way out to that 354 sign in the left field corner. Idaveo delivers. That ball's low and outside for Santos Ocampo. Count goes to 3-1, and after retiring that second batter on a sacrifice, Idaveo hasn't actually retired anyone himself that time. Cooch was, sacrificed himself to send the runners over. Of course, O'Hara made that a little bit moot with too much of a fly ball.
Runner going there, and he's going to have a stolen base.
Actually,
I'm sorry.
So pay attention to the game a little bit, Alec. That was a 3-1 count. It was a really easy choice for Nachmanoff to make there to steal with the lack of control coming from Idaveo. Just the odds of there being a walk was just that much higher. So Santos Ocampo emulating Tommy O'Hara there with his with a walk, his first safe reach of the game.
We're going to have a mound visit here as Lesley coach trying to calm down Idaveo, who's had a rough inning so far. With 2 men on now, further trouble.
That's head coach Billy Cather coming out there to give him a little visit, pep talk maybe.
Still opportunity for a double play here. 1 out could end the inning with a double play, but not the optimal situation for Idaveo now.
It's only 3-1 right now. The game's still very much within reach. It's just unfortunate the way things have turned out so far, but it's still a close game. Bit of danger right now, so as McLaughlin swings and misses at that first pitch, 0-1 the count. McLaughlin on first, Santos Ocampo out on second. Or excuse me, Nachmanoff on second, Santos Ocampo on first, McLaughlin digging in as the count evens 1-1. Boomer Saraga, the designated hitter, standing in the on-deck circle. He's ready for a little bit of revenge from that first inning, that ground out. Idaveo checks the runner as Santos Ocampo, Nachmanoff heads back to second.
Wind really whipping up the dirt around here.
McLaughlin swings and corks that one just above our heads.
Going to be in the parking lot.
No car alarms, so that's a good sign. His count goes to 1 and 2 on that. Idaveo just needs really to focus in on the batter right now, just to let the letting the stress of having more than one runner on base just does nothing good for a pitcher. Checks the runner though. That one eases in. Pretty close, but I imagine that was probably a little bit inside for McLaughlin there. Count evens at 2 and 2.
Sit back, Hanson. Sit back, John. Let's go.
Nachmanoff and Santos Ocampo with their leads. McLaughlin digs. Just barely checks his swing there. Manages to hold off from that second base umpire standing there. Count goes full, 3 and 2.
Full count with 1 out. Would you send the runners here?
I would not, actually. The game is still close enough for it to be just, it's early enough and close enough that there's just no point in sending the runners and risking a strike him out, throw him out double play. Ideveo's delivery is chopped into left field for the left fielder out there to pick up. But Malcolm Nachmanoff will score easily, and that just continues this jumbo offensive outburst in the third inning. Score goes to 4 to 1.
A really rough inning for Idaveo here. Only out he's recorded, as you said, was on the sac bunt, and you have to wonder how much longer his leash will be. Potentially 2 more runners on base coming around to score if another hit or 2 is recorded by the Jumbos. So, and Idaveo just has not looked as sharp as he did in the first 2 innings. Just missing his spots, the long home run to O'Hara, a bunch of other hits and some walks. Rough inning for him here. Resulted in 4 runs on the board for Tufts.
This first pitch to Boomer Saraga is corked foul. Count goes to 0-1.
And even in that last at bat, he had a 1-2 and just could not put him away.
Lynx bullpen is quiet for the moment, so indicating that there's quite a bit of faith in Idaveo to sort of shoulder the burden right now and keep things rolling. Taking his time though. No point in upsetting his rhythm as he delivers another ball in on the hands. That to catch some of it, but that's sent back 0-2.
Idaveo ahead of another batter, so we'll see if he can put this one away.
Santos Ocampo and McLaughlin now are the runners on first and second. They've got their healthy leads. Ferragine trying to hold Santos Ocampo. Ideveo's offer is slapped into left field but lofted, so that'll send the runners back to second. Santos Ocampo with a little bit of a fake out, try to force an error from the left fielder, Intragio. That'll be F7 for Saraga and the second out of the inning. Eric Schnepp with a easy ground out to the second baseman, or a fielder's choice really, where that was the rundown that caught McLaughlin in the second inning. Still 2 men on though, still a bit of danger for Idaveo as his first offer is slapped on the ground to the second baseman for the easy put out. That'll be 4-3 for the last out. Jumbos offensive outburst with 4 runs on 4 hits and or 4 runs on 5 hits, 2 men left on base. And the game's now broken open to 4-1. Lynx really have to come back strong in this next inning.
Highlight of that inning, certainly Tommy O'Hara's long 3-run home run, getting the Jumbos on the board. And as we talked about, we keep talking about his patience, and that really was the key for him there. Set him down, or had the count 2-0, and then just unloaded on a pitch. Tufts then tacking on another run after that.
And what would you say, Alec, is the importance for the Lesley University Lynx to score this happening? Like, in the grand scheme of the game, how important is scoring in this next half inning?
Well, it's not crucial, but you have to remember there's only 7 innings in this game, so they're down to their last 12 offensive outs here. So I would definitely say it's important just for the morale of the players, just to get them back mentally in the game. After not scoring any runs in the first game, a 1-0 lead certainly probably felt pretty good, but 1 run is usually not going to be enough to win the game. So now that they're down 4-1, you know, they're going to have to put up some more runs. They were going to have to do it anyway, and now they're just going to have to start doing it, start chipping away inning by inning. And we haven't seen any big offensive outbursts for them, so most likely they're going to have to start recording runs early if they want to come back.
I'd even argue that it's most important to score now because of just the sort of fickle sense or the fickle way that momentum controls this game. It's very common, at least in the major league games and especially in little league games, whereby if you put up a lot of runs in 1/2 inning, it's super easy just to come back right after that offensive outburst with your own offensive outburst. So RJ Hall just really needs to be careful here. Coming back in for his 4th inning of work. Got the 5-6-7 batters for the Lynx coming in. First up, Palercio, who had a pop out to a foul out, in fact, to the first baseman, the first baseman Makhmanoff in the first inning, really.
And it's going to be really important for RJ Hall to have a quick inning here like he did last inning. One of the most deflating things is when your teammates put up runs and then you give them right back. Certainly happened many times in baseball. But if he gets through this, and as you said, the momentum will start rolling in the right direction for the Jumbos with only 3 innings after that. So we'll see what happens.
First pitch was a ball. Hall's second offering is low and outside. Count goes 2-0.
And a relatively long inning. I mean, it wasn't too long, but it was longer than the previous innings, so it might affect Hall's rhythm. Had to sit down a little more than he was used to in the first few innings.
That ball goes high, 3-0 the count.
With 3 balls, that's certainly an indicator of a pitcher not feeling the same rhythm. We saw Hall looking pretty dominant last inning and has not looked that way. Only 3 pitches, but wants to get under control nonetheless.
Schnepf goes out to walks the ball out that time instead of just tossing it back. Hall comes set. In there for a strike. And that's an easy take for Palercio. If you have 3 balls just going way far outside, it stands to reason that the 4th one might do the same thing. Hall working quickly again, and that ball will go into the dirt for a walk for Palercio.
You never want to start the inning with a leadoff walk. The bane of pitchers everywhere. Putting the leadoff runner on base is never a good thing.
And this is a good opportunity to look at what we were discussing last inning, where the difference between winding up and pitching from the stretch. And so now now Hall, instead of being able to face the batter head on and then turn his body, is forced to be able to pick off the first baseman just like so. Having his side facing the batter already allows him to pivot around really quickly and try to catch Palercio unawares as he's off the base. That ball's slapped foul for the first strike. Count goes 0-1 for JP Ajorsis.
Hall hasn't really pitched out of the stretch much since that first inning, so we'll see how he adjusts to it.
Hall checks the runner. Checks the runner again. Delivers. A little off-speed pitch to send the count to 0-2 for Ajorsis.
Just drops that one in there. Nice pitch from Hall.
Ajorsis? Apologies to any fans and family members of the Lynx center fielder. Quick snap throw to Makhmanoff brings Palercio back. There's an old pitcher from the MLB whose thing was just to look at the runner on first, as Hall's offering is just a bit low. Gosh, I wonder where that missed. Count goes to 1-2 on that one. But his thing was just to look at the runner. He never actually threw the ball. He just looked, and every time he looked, he was just put that much pressure on the runner to send him scurrying back to the base until finally he decided to throw it, but the first baseman dropped the ball. Just had him dead to rights. Just couldn't hold on to it because he was so surprised. As Hall's offering is skied into shallow right field, Petrie makes the easy catch for the first out of the inning. That'll bring up the right fielder, Gage Raycroft, who struck out looking to end the first inning, to end that really shaky first inning for RJ Hall.
Who was this mystery pitcher that you're referring
I
to?
can't remember his name. I remember reading a story about him, and I just can't remember his name. But I imagine Hall could take a page from his book, but people have wised up since then. This was, of course, in like the 60s or the 70s, and so just with this much more strategy, you really do have to throw the ball back in order to keep the runner honest. Talercio with his lead. Hall's delivery is chipped to O'Hara, the first baseman, who charges and makes the off-balance throw to first for the putout.
Nice play there. Had to come in on the ball and make an off-balance throw. Close play, but second out will be recorded there. Some nice fielding prowess there.
O'Hara, a really good all-around player. 3 of the 4 RBIs this game so far. Nice defensive play there on the corner infield. Really filling out that power-hitting corner infielder motif well. Talercio on second now. Zizali not holding him on very tightly, but Petrie also with the possibility to come in for the pickoff attempt. That first pitch to Brendan Fairchild is called strike. Hall checks the runner. That one's low. Bring the count to 1-1. Hall back into his more relaxed rhythm now. Checks the runner a couple times. And a pickoff attempt. Ooh, bit of a slip from Christian Zizali and a off-target throw from Hall combined to keep Talercio at second.
Talercio dancing around there, but was able to get back in time. Not too big of a lead.
Hall checks the runner again. His offering that time is high and inside to Fairchild. 2-1 the count. Easing his way through it as he should with a runner in scoring position. Really important for the Lynx to get something on the board to respond back to the explosion from the Jumbos in that third inning. High again to Fairchild. Count goes 3-1. Hitters count for Fairchild as Talercio comes with his lead again. Hall very much more focused on Fairchild in the box this time. Speak of the devil, Petrie this time with the pickoff attempt, but a little bit too far for, a little bit too much ground for Petrie to cover before Talercio could get back in. Talercio's light on his feet. If you had someone else, couldn't imagine who from the Lesley lineup, a bit more heavy-footed, could be possibly something there. But Hall's next offering is swung on and missed by Brendan Fairchild, and that'll bring the count full with full count, 2 outs.
I'll send Talercio.
Talercio has the green light to get moving. Or no, he doesn't actually, because, and you know why, he's on second. So you could see him almost pause just a little bit there. Easy grounder to Tom Petrie for the second, to Nachmanoff for the putout, and out number 3.
Nice inning there from R.J. Hall. Runner in scoring position, but able to get out of the mini jam and keep Lesley off the board for another inning. So we're in the bottom of the 4th inning now.
Halfway through this game.
So my question is, when's the 7th inning stretch in a 7-inning game?
I imagine in the 7th inning. Otherwise, you have to call it something else. Because it's between the half innings. It's between the top half and the bottom half. You stretch. You get up to stretch, and then you don't even need to sit down because you're just ready to go after the game's over. But
for this game, if the Jumbos hold on, the 7th inning stretch would be the end of the game. So 7th inning stretch and then just take off.
Ready to go. I was part of a broadcast team for a game. I was here for both games, actually, but then the second game ended up being longer than the first game. It was just extra innings that went from 7 innings all the way out to, I think it was 10, maybe 11. It was rough. It was a long day because for folks part of the broadcast team who are here for both games, I believe our now cameraman Bernie Birnbaum has been here for almost 4 hours at this point. So he'll be here for a grand total of, starting at 11. It's now closing in on 4:30. And
also Freddie and Sebastian.
and Freddie and Sebastian, who have both been here for this entire time. They'll have been here for a grand total of 6 hours by the time we're all done here, maybe even closer to 7 with the dismantling of the broadcast booth up here.
We are just the latecomers coming in for the afternoon action, the late afternoon action.
Christian Zazali, the shortstop, to step in and make his mark. He of the leadoff single last inning.
The 7th inning, I'll want to
Aya DeVeo still out there, still bringing it forward with his offering. In there for a called strike. Count goes 0-1.
If Aya DeVeo pitches much like he did last inning, he won't be long for this game. So he's looking for a more clean inning here in the bottom of the 4th.
Aya DeVeo comes set. Goes high that time. See if Zazali will chase. Count goes 1-1. And if you look at Aya DeVeo, how he's set up right now, he's facing him straight on. Then he twists his body to make the pitch. As Zazali pops that one up, and I have total. Oh, there it is. It is coming down to the shortstop. Faragine, an easy out for number 1. Tom Petrie, the second baseman,
number 3,
will step in. Tom Petrie 1 for 2 on the day with a strikeout in the first and a single in which he came around to score on O'Hara's home run in the 3rd inning. Aya DeVeo comes in, and that's bunted foul for strike 1.
Tries to drop a little push bunt there, trying to get on base with a quick hit, but cannot keep that one fair. So, interesting strategy. And the Jumbos would love to get base runners on before O'Hara comes to face Aya DeVeo again.
Petrie's got some speed. He does have 3 steals on the season, and unlike Cooch, has not been caught stolen yet. So this one's a proper swing, but it's popped up to the first base side and taken care of by the second baseman, Vincent Talercio, for out number 2.
And now we have a good example of kind of what we were talking about before. Oscar Cooch getting the at-bat, and Tommy O'Hara potentially would be leading off the next inning instead of getting the extra at-bat here in this inning.
Indeed.
So,
as Aya DeVeo's first pitch swings in for a called strike. And the Jumbos are kind of abandoning that patience that brought them that offensive outburst in the 3rd inning. There were only 2 pitches to Tom Petrie before he popped out, as that second pitch comes in for a ball. Count evens 1-1. And really only 3 pitches for Christian Zazali to start off the inning. So we're only at the 8th pitch now for this entire inning. Aya DeVeo's 8th pitch is swung on and tipped into the glove of Fairchild. Count goes to 1-2.
Aya DeVeo 1 pitch away from a 1-2-3 inning, a lot better than he performed last inning.
This would be the first of the game for Aya DeVeo. The delivery in the dirt. Count goes to 2-2. Cooch having himself a pretty good day, 1 for 1, with that sacrifice from the 3rd inning to send the runners over to 2nd and 3rd. Aya DeVeo comes set, delivers. This one's tapped foul, or popped foul again, back into the backstop. Count stays at 2-2. So still a fairly quick inning. Generally speaking, pitchers can go through have about 15 pitches. If you think of it like a golf game, it's about par 15 for a single half inning. If you can get below 15, you're under par for that game. That ball just a bit outside. Just a bit outside for to bring the count full. And the sun has just very abruptly just broken through this cloud cover, bathing us in a little bit of warmth. And that one's rocketed into center field, but that is straight for the center fielder, Georges,
so nice
for the 3rd out.
Nice quick inning there for Aya DeVeo.
I believe he was 2 under par, if we're going to continue this golf analogy a little bit. But the first truly clean inning for Aya DeVeo, who has had at least 1 base runner every inning so far up until now. Jumbos go quietly in the 4th inning, and that'll bring up the Lynx for the 5th inning. We'll have Intraggio Faragine and Mike Slaby.
Kind of returning to the par pitch count analogy, I always think of Al Leiter describing each inning as a knockout round in like boxing. So it's not really, the overall pitch count isn't as important as how much energy you expend in each inning. Like, pitchers aren't really conditioned to pitch 30, 40 pitches per inning, and the longer you go, the more it's going to take a toll on you. And so it's definitely important to have those quick innings, the quick rounds where you can sit down and then get back in the ring and take them on again. But the long rounds really drain you. And as we saw, they lead to runs, and runs are not good, as we saw in the third inning for the Jumbos.
No, indeed.
On Seniors Day, victorious against Hamilton.
No, indeed.
And this has been a pretty quick game so far. We're just a little before 4:30, and we're already in the fifth inning. Of course, this game is only going to go 7 innings, so we'll be only broadcasting 3 more innings here as opposed to the typical 9. But moving quite quickly through this game.
Generally speaking, though, those early innings usually go by fast, as the batters are pretty easily fooled the first time through, or not in some cases, but still things move quickly until the 6th, 7th, and 8th innings are usually the ones where time drags and
Now leading off for Lesley University in the
things take a little bit longer.
Left fielder number 19, Ellis Intragio.
Ellis Intragio, the left fielder, steps in.
Lesley down to their final 9 outs here, so down by 3. About a run an inning they have to make up if they want to come back and, of course, keep the Jumbos off the board as well.
First pitch in there misses for a ball. Count goes 0-1, or 1-0, excuse me. Hall comes set, delivers. Ready to swing was Intragio, but he decided against it, but umpire still calls that good enough. Count evens at 1-1. Hall back to cruising, delivers. Probably outside on that one. The height may be a little bit low too, but it looked like it was just grazing the knees. Count will go to 2-1 now. Hall delivers. That one's in there. Probably closer into Intragio. And count evens at 2-2. Intragio has to protect now in order to keep some hope alive to spark something for the Lynx this inning. RJ comes set, delivers. Swing and a miss from Intragio will make the first out of this 5th inning.
Big cut there from Intragio, but just did not have a read on that pitch. It's going to be a strikeout for RJ Hall.
In fact, the 6th strikeout on the day for RJ Hall.
So after a rough first inning, RJ Hall has not given up any hits since then, so a really nice outing this has turned into for him.
Bit outside for Nick Faragine, the left fielder. 1-0 the count. Got to be starting to think about Hall's pitch count as his next pitch goes way high, 2-0. Because we're getting into that territory I mentioned earlier where you might be conditioned to throw a lot of pitches, but once you get past 40, 50, whatever, it's a lot easier to make mistakes, as Hall's offering is slapped through the hole by diving Zazali. An easy single for Nick Faragine, his 2nd of the day.
Again, proving your point exactly. So that, as of course, as we said, Hall hadn't given up any hits since the first inning. He gives up his first hit since the first inning, so the old broadcaster's jinx is well underway
Live
here.
and well here at Huskins Field, no matter the game.
The third baseman, number 3, Mike Slaby.
Mike Slaby not having himself a day as opposed to Faragine. 0 for 2 now with a strikeout and a pop-out to the pitcher. First pitch from Hall is ignored by Slaby. 1-0 the count.
Lesley just looking for some base runners here, trying to chip away at this 4-1 lead. Got their first one on right now, and they'll be looking for more as throws over.
Hall checks Faragine on that one, but Faragine's pretty conservative with the lead right now.
Just trying to keep him honest.
Hall looking again from the stretch. His delivery is very low. 3-0 the count for, 2-0 the count for Slaby. hitters count for Mike Slavey, looking to do some damage now against Hall, as his delivery is fouled a lot harder off his foot that time than what happened earlier. Definitely quite painful for Slavey, but he's walking. He's not on the ground clutching his foot in pain.
Just trying to walk that one off.
Those hurt. Those like any kind of contact from that. You could get it in the arm, in the foot, in the cup. Just any kind of like solid contact from a baseball like that. It makes you wonder why they don't make the baseballs any like more pleasant to be hit by. But that would be pointless, really, or against tradition, which is itself pointless.
Of course.
But oh well. Tradition marches on, and so does Slavey as he comes back in for a 2-1 count against R.J. Hall, who with a bit of a high check back there checks the runner.
The video where the past week Stephen Piscotty of the Cardinals hit 3 separate times his trip around the bases.
Slavey slaps this one to the left side and just barely beats out the double play. So that'll be a fielder's choice for Mike Slavey as he reaches, but at the cost of Faragine, the advance runner.
The designated hitter.
Designated hitter Ryan Pumfret will be back up. He's listed as a utility man, a sophomore utility man for the Lynx here. Their main power hitter, though, so if there's anyone who's going to get him back into threatening position, it's Pumfret. As he slaps this one over into left field, and that'll drop in front of McLaughlin for a single.
So now Lesley bringing the tying run up to bat here. 2 outs, big at bat for Lesley.
Big at bat for Justin Clark, who, is the designated hitter. Ryan Pumfret is the first baseman. My apologies for that. Slavey standing at second. Pumfret at first. Justin Clark, time for him to shine. He's the only other man, or one of the only 2 other guys on this Lesley squad to have hit a home run so far. So there's the jinx. Now it won't happen, right, Alex?
Let's hope.
Or maybe I just made it. Maybe I'll make it come true. If that's the case, I am going to win the lottery for $2 million this time next week.
Just cover all your bases.
Hey, I have to try. Got to do something
with this awesome power.
Hall's first pitch is sent foul by Clark. Count goes 0-1.
And Lesley, you don't know how many opportunities you're going to have like this if you're Lesley, so really important for them just to at least get 1 run back, if not more, if they can.
Lynx threatening with 2 outs, as this one is bobbled by, or not really bobbled, but hit by Hall, but it's easy play for Tom Petrie and the fielder's choice to end the inning.
So R.J. Hall getting out of trouble there.
Bit of a rockier inning for him there, but again, getting himself out of trouble.
And despite he's had moments in this game where he's looked great, and even during his not-so-great moments, he's done a great job with runners on base, bases loaded situation in the first inning, and that situation right there, able to limit the damage or just stop it entirely. And Tufts will keep their 4-1 lead going into the bottom of the 5th. Only about 2 more innings here, so 6 more outs they need to get to go home with a doubleheader sweep.
Tommy O'Hara, Malcolm Nachmanoff, and Casey Santos Ocampo are your batters. And here, the traditional heart of the order.
3, 4, 5.
Which we've covered it earlier, but it just gives something a little bit more of more satisfaction than a 2-3-4, because as much as I'd like for the 2-3-4 part of the order to be the heart of the order, just something about these are the guys. These are the guys. These are your heavy hitters, your big guns to do something bad. But the big man himself, Tommy O'Hara, will be stepping in first, and he's having the best day so far. 1 for 1 with that walk and a 3-run blast out to left field. So, or as I believe his name was Greg Santangelo would call them, tacos. So,
and I think that what you just said is really kind of a good representation of the stat head versus the old school debate, because these statistics that are presented that make sense, sometimes you just feel like they should be done differently. The feel aspect cannot be underrated in baseball.
Adevadeo's first pitch is in there for a called strike. And in fact, that last one, because O'Hara's left-handed hitter, you would call that an oppo taco. a loaded Oppo taco, as it was a 3-run home run. Those first 2 pitches, or that next pitch is in there for a called strike also. Adevideo wasting no time in going after O'Hara, as O'Hara won the patience game both of the first 2 times that he was up at bat. And O'Hara swing and a miss. 3-pitch see you later from Adevideo sends O'Hara packing back to the bench. And you can't win them all. Even the best hitters out there, who is it? Ty Cobb, I think, has the best batting average. 367, which means two out of 3 times he got out. 2 out of 3 times he was unsuccessful in making something happen. So,
unless you're Barry Bonds and you carry 500,
you know,
I have to cater to the Giants fan in you.
Well, I mean, that'll get you far, but you know, you're undercutting my points right now.
No, I agree. I agree.
The first offering to Malcolm Nachmanoff is a ball, 1-0. Adevideo coming in. That one's skied to center field, but center fielder Georges coming back in. I think that one was pretty well knocked down. If you look at the flag out in left field, it's not really quite out straight, but definitely inhibiting any fly balls that get out there. But just enough of a sort of push out to left field to help out O'Hara's home run ball from the 3rd inning. Santos Ocampo steps in now for his 3rd at-bat. He's 0 for 1 on the day with a walk and a fly out to center field.
Adevideo being very aggressive this inning, pounding the strike zone, getting ahead on hitters, and he's gotten 2 quick outs so far.
First pitch strike to get the rhythm back. Second offering is in there for a called strike. I might have said that was a little bit low, but that could just be the biased jumbo in me. So ignore that for now. Count is 0-2 for Santos Ocampo. Santos Ocampo steps in. Dug all the way back in the box to give himself the best chance to see it. That was probably just a bit outside, as we said earlier. You can't see him jump back. So stands, and the height looked all right, so it stands to reason that it was off the plate outside. Count goes 1-2. Adevideo back to his regular rhythm now with a little pressure this inning. This one's popped foul and right towards us. Oh, that could be caught. Bounced off my hands. Oh. Should have had that. That
was very, very, very exciting, but unfortunately.
Should have been mine. That's like, felt it right off my left hand, and this is the one time I don't bring my glove. Those balls got to be caught, especially as a former. Well, I don't know. I was a catcher. I wasn't good for these foul outs like that.
So that's going to be an error up here in the broadcast booth, and Santos Ocampo will get another chance.
EA for Andrew. Just barely foul. Another stinger down the left field line this time instead of back towards the broadcast booth. And reminiscent of this Florida trip, so we were down in Florida for spring training, and I actually almost got brained by a foul ball down there. We were watching the Stetson Hatters take on the Florida Gators, and just walking up to my seat and just 3 inches from my head, just clang. It was that one I didn't make a play for because I couldn't see it in time.
You did keep that ball, though.
I did keep that ball, so I don't mind too much. But that one actually, that's the first foul ball that's ever been hit to me. So the fact that A, I didn't have my glove, and then B, couldn't make the play, it's tearing me apart. I'm just getting these dirty looks from the rest of the broadcast team. All the Sebastian, the guy who was on the team here, and these 2 Mets fans in the booth right now. I don't need it, guys. All right.
The only foul ball I've gotten, it was a New Britain Rockcats game, and nobody was there. It was a day-night doubleheader, and I had the whole left field section to myself. So ball hit like 5-6 rows up, and I just kind of walked over and picked it up. So, no stress, no pain, and I got the ball. I say it's pretty successful.
Where did the ball even go? I don't even know where the ball went. But anyway, back to the game. The next offering to Santos Ocampo is fouled again. 3rd foul ball in a row as this battle of wits continues between Santos Ocampo and Adevideo. Adevideo's offering that time is outside, maybe a bit low too. Count finally changes, this time to 2-2. That was probably the 7th or 8th pitch of this at-bat. So quality at-bat for Santos Ocampo. Really just seeing all the tricks, again, that Adevideo has. With that walk, that walk was just that last at-bat, actually. Adevideo's offering is slapped towards the shortstop, Faragine. Easy put out for the third out of the inning.
Avadeo wins that in the end.
For the Jumbos in the bottom of the 5th inning, no
6-3
runs,
to
no
finish
hits
it
for
off.
Lesley
And
errors, no runners
that's gonna
left
haunt me.
on base.
That
Last scored
botched
inside
catch is gonna haunt me
the
for the rest of my days, Alec. Just, you know, the first time that it's hit me.
As well it should.
You know, I'm looking for a little sympathy,
All
here,
right,
a little
all
more,
right.
you know.
I think it's karma from
because with all these dirty looks I'm getting from the Birnbaum brothers in the booth, is just, you know, I need someone on my side for this one.
I think it's karma for the Florida ball. You know, it was.
What do you mean karma for the Florida? I almost died from that one.
All right, then maybe you should have caught this one. Maybe it's a reverse karma.
Well, it's just the universe. You know, whenever you buy a baseball field, you need to have your glove on you. That's just the message I'm getting right now. So, in any case,
we'll all take some lessons away from this today.
No worries from the broadcast booth. Hurt pride, but and maybe a stinging palm, but you know, nothing serious for the boys up here. We've got for the 6th inning, Vincent Talercio, JP Ajorgusis. I am so sorry to the center fielder for the Lynx. Just every single time, it's just it's bad. And Gage Raycroft for
Ajorgusis. I think that's
Ajorgusis.
Ajorgusis.
Ajorgusis. See, when you say it, it doesn't sound that difficult. Then when I try it, it's just. But
we have reports the ball is MIA.
Wow, that is new.
So.
Because you know what? It's fine.
Did you not see where it went?
Well, it rolled away. Is it not in front of us? Doesn't look like it. Who knows? Back to baseball, though. We've got Vincent Talercio stepping in against RJ Hall, still working his magic. Swing and a miss from Talercio. 0-1 the count.
Only a 7-inning game. You think RJ Hall's probably looking to complete this one with some clean innings here.
That ball bouncing in the dirt, though, to even the count 1-1. Interesting point of fact for the Lesley Lynx in the subject of complete games. One of their pitchers, Tom Murator, new conviction to the saying, if you want something done right, do it yourself. As Hall's next pitch is swung on and tipped into the glove that time. Count goes to 1-2. But all 4 of Murator's victories have come on complete games. Every single one of them. So
it's a throwback to early days of baseball.
As the next offering is crushed into the hole between O'Hara and Zazali. Easy single for Talercio, who is now 1 for 2 on the day with a walk and a single.
So Lesley getting some more base ratings here.
Ajorgusis is what I heard from our official Tufts baseball announcer over here. Ajorgusis.
All right.
Ajorgusis steps in for his 3rd at-bat of the game, or his 3rd plate appearance, that is. He's 1 for 2 on the day. That ball is inside. Count goes to 1-0. I would guess that RJ's pitch count is working somewhere in the 70s at this, maybe 60s to 70s. I'd say mid to high 60s. So, not the something to think about in this 6th inning as we march right along. 4-1 the score still for this Lesley Tufts tilt, the 2nd of 2 in a doubleheader today. That one's low. Count goes to 2-0 for Ajorgusis. No outs, runner on first for the Lynx. Looking to make something happen in this 2nd to last inning. That one's popped foul. A little bit further back this time. Not quite playable for me.
Stars in your eyes, willing it a little bit over.
I want redemption, Alec. What can I say? Just because it was my left hand, too. That's what I'm going to blame it on. It was my left hand and not my right hand.
Okay.
Well, because if I had my glove on, that'd be fine, well and good. But no glove. Better when you have it on your right hand. So, in any case, the count is now 2-1 for Ajorgusis. Hall's next offering is on the corner there for a called strike. Evens the count at 2. 2 strikes. Ajorgusis needs to protect the plate now. This is the territory now where mistakes are easily made, more easily made. Looking for that ground ball double play. That one's smacked into center field. A little bit too much loft for a hit to be made out of that, as Santos Ocampo makes the easy out.
Nice contact there, but as you said, a little too much loft, and it's going to be the first out of the inning.
22, Will Roan.
One of the little tricks that you can pick up as a baseball fan is just deciding on those kinds of hits. You can be really happy and think, oh great, that was contact, but then you have to decide, what's the chance of it going to be a hit? Because take O'Hara's fly ball, for example. You can be it wasn't obvious right away, which is why we couldn't make the home run call right away. But it had some juice, it had some lift to it that that made it clear to that something was going to happen. It was either going to be a long double or a home run, which of course it ended up being a home run. The Adragusis hit just then. Nice hit, really good contact, solid contact, but just a little bit too much of a high angle for it to be anything besides just a flyout, because it either needed to have more power in order to get all the way out to that 410 sign, which is frankly ridiculous for a collegiate field, or it needed to have more of a down angle in order to fall in and be a base hit. Neither one of those things happened, so it was an easy out for Santos Ocampo to make. 1-1 the count for Gage Raycroft. This one's corked towards us again, but a little bit too far to the left. Thankfully, that last pitch wasn't that was a kind of foul ball that just comes straight for you. You just no time to react. Thankfully, that other one was high and arcing towards us.
Don't beat yourself up for over this anymore.
I will. I will always, because I'm just never going to stop thinking about it. 1-2 the count for Gage Raycroft as Hall checks the runner, Tolurcio, who is ready to get going.
You remember what the Stetson center field dimension was?
I don't actually, but I remember it being a little bit more reasonable than 410, because
410 is deep.
AT&T Park, home of the Giants, is 400 to straightaway center and then 421 to right center, and that's some of the deepest dimensions in baseball. That's just ridiculous.
Whereas Yankee Stadium is a very cozy I think 316, 318 right and right.
Hall, the swing and a miss there for, as we discuss, Major League Park dimensions.
The famed short porch in the Bronx.
Big swing and a miss. Puts the second down on the board for Hall. And that'll bring up Brendan Fairchild, the catcher. And then there's parks like Great American Ballpark, the home of the Reds, that are just like a backyard.
Right.
Just so easy to hit balls out. Maybe not Coors Field easy, but still quite simple. A simple affair. RJ Hall checks the runner to Tolurcio, but focuses in on the batter, who lofts this one right to Petrie for out number 3.
So
4 in the scorebook.
Another leadoff runner on RJ Hall, but gets 3 quick outs after that, and we're going to head to the bottom of the 6th. One more inning left after this one for Lesley to come back and make up that 3-run deficit. We'll see if Hall will be the one pitching.
RJ Hall, some nice shutdown work here to keep things going. And for the Jumbos, this bottom half of the inning, we've got McLaughlin, Saraga, and Schnepf. Left fielder, DH, and catcher.
Jumbo's trying to tack on a few more runs, give their pitchers a little breathing room. See, most likely Hall will come back out, I would think. Maybe he's reached his pitch count, but it hasn't been too high so far.
We'll see. It's only a 7-inning game, as you said, so it's very possible that both teams are going to go for just a complete game all the way through, just to make it simpler for the staff, if not for the pitcher. Well, simpler, but not easier.
Additionally, yeah, with these weekend doubleheaders and Jumbos have another game tomorrow, you want to save all your bullets in case tomorrow's pitcher doesn't have as good of a game as Hall's having. Tomorrow's game will be at 1 o'clock against Keene State, and we will be covering it on JumboCast, so make sure you tune in.
So it'll be a basic reverse, actually, of the roles right now. You and I have are taking the call on for the speaking and the talking to our lovely fans out here. But the Birnbaum brothers will be as McLaughlin swings and fouls that one off. Count goes 0-1. We'll be switching roles as you and I will take over the directorship and run things from the booth. And the Birnbaum brothers will come out here and grace you with their mellifluous tones and lovely voices.
Making their debut as a brothers-only, Birnbaum-only broadcast booth. So a little family reunion. We'll see if any family stories get told over air.
Ooh, that would be interesting. I was going to say something about nepotism, but Bernie's on his way out, so we can't really play that card too much. Sorry, Bernie. After a long and successful tenure as our GM, Bernie Birnbaum is graduating after this year. It's evened at 1-1 now for McLaughlin as Iadaveo comes set, delivers. Right there on the outside part of the plate to send the count to 1-2.
I can't think of any family broadcast booths in Major League Baseball.
Wait, are the Kuiper? Is Glenn Kuiper related to Dwayne Kuiper, or am I just making that up?
I have no clue.
I know he's a sports journalist, but that's the only thing I can think of. As that ball goes in the dirt for McLaughlin, count evens at 2. That would be quite something, though, if we ended up with, well, just in general. It'll be fun to listen to this little brotherly banter.
We'll see. Will the older brother dominant come through? Will young Freddie get a chance to shine?
I'm trying to think of this happening with either of my brothers, and, you know, I could see it happening with my older brother as swings and misses, and thought that maybe the catcher dropped it, but none of that right now. So first out of the inning is a swinging strikeout, the first for Adavadeo since the first inning, or excuse me, since the 5th inning. Not looking at my scorecard properly. We had to work quickly today because our scorebook got drenched earlier this year. Adabadeo's first pitch to Boomer Saraga is at the knees for a called strike. But figured it out, and we've got it. So we are able to bring this game to you with accurate updates of what the players have done so far this game. That ball's out on the outside from Adavadeo. Bring the count to 1-1. Adavadeo, we're looking for another quick inning as he had in the 5th inning. Keep his team within striking distance.
And yeah, still only a 4-1 game. Lesley offense hasn't been doing much since the first inning, but certainly within a reasonable distance for a 1-inning comeback if the bats are up to it.
Finds its way into the strike zone for called strike number 2. Saraga yet to get the bat off his shoulder this plate appearance. So he'll be looking for something, anything good at this point to protect the plate and get the Jumbos up and running this inning. That one's in the dirt and skips around, and he sends it. Makes an effort to get to first, but that will be a dropped or strike 3 for the second out of the inning. Eric Schneff steps in for his 3rd at-bat. He's 0 for 2 on the day, having grounded out to second base and shortstop. 2 outs in the 6th inning for the Jumbos here, leading the Lesley University Lynx 4-1. Close game, as that first pitch from Adavadeo sails in for a strike. 0-1 to count. Adavadeo's second pitch, high, way too high. Count evens at 1-1. Adavadeo working with his regular rhythm. Comes set, delivers. That one's popped way high down the left field line. Easy out for the Lynx left fielder, and that'll be out number 3. Nice 1-2-3 inning for Adavadeo, who really actually has not had, all things considered, has not had that bad of a game.
One bad inning, really, and aside from that, really nothing too crazy that he's given up. Jumbo's scored all 4 of their runs, and most of them off the Tommy O'Hara home run.
You could really just say that one bad pitch, but one bad pitch is really all it takes. So this last inning, the last hope for the Lynx, Ellis Intraggio, the left fielder, Nick Ferragine, the shortstop, and Mike Slaby, the 3rd baseman. 9-1-2, and this is another one of those configurations we were talking about, and this is something that the Jumbos capitalized on with their second leadoff hitter in Christian Zazali, or what I'd like to think of as the second leadoff hitter, Christian Zazali, just because it proves my point. But if Intraggio and Ferragine can set the table for the big hitters, Slay, Pumfret, and Clark, then they'll have something to string together.
We're going to get a new pitcher in. RJ Hall will not be completing this one. It's going to be Rory Zomek. Actually appeared on halftime of one of our basketball broadcasts, as he is along with a Tufts senior baseball pitcher, writer for the Nothing But NESCAC blog. So he was kind enough to grant us a halftime interview. So we could say friend of JumboCast.
Friend of JumboCast indeed. Rory Zomek.
1-0 this year. 7 2/3 innings pitched, 12 strikeouts, and a 1.17 ERA. So have a nice season so far. He's going to look to finish off these Lesley Lynx and send the Jumbos home with 2 wins today.
1 save on the season and 1 win also. A 1.17 ERA. 14 strikeouts per 9 innings. So hasn't quite pitched 9 innings yet, but still a good clip to be keeping up. So watch for the strikeouts. Watch for him to pound the zone and keep the Lesley Lynx guessing in this last half inning that they have available to them.
And he'll be looking for the save here, as a 3-run game will make him eligible for the save opportunity.
Not the regular closer that the Jumbos probably look to, but in the midst of a little cluster of games with the Keene State game tomorrow, a very capable relief pitcher to finish the job here. Hear the cheers from the dugout. First guy's half the battle. Makes a lot of sense. You just want to be able to settle in and take care of business. Zomek pitching from the stretch despite there not being any runners on base. His first pitch is a strike. Count goes to 0-1 for Intraggio. Intraggio 0 for 2 on the day so far with a fly out and a strikeout, swinging strikeout in the 5th inning. Zomek's second pitch is high.
Interesting windup there with the little leg kick before, a little leg bob before the actual windup. What's your take on that? What does that add? Just trying to keep the hitter off balance, or trying to stabilize himself?
Stabilize himself, I'd say. It's not like that ball bounces in the dirt to bring the count 2-1. It's not like the Carter Capps little hop, skip, and a jump to send yourself forward, which is a big subject of controversy. But once you find your little routine, like the kick, then the wind up and send, as Intraggio swings and misses, strike 2. Once you find your routine, you just can't break out of it. If you do it, it's not against the rules and it works, let it go. Little bob comes set and delivers. Swing and a miss at a ball in the dirt. And that is Intraggio. So first one's halfway there.
The shortstop, number
Intraggio
12,
0 for 3 now on the day with 2 strikeouts.
Zomek picks up another strikeout to add to his collection.
There you go, pitching for the strikeout, as we said.
So Lesley now down to the final 2 outs here.
13 strikeouts now on the season for Zomek. Big first pitch strike from Rory Zomek on Nick Ferragine, who is 2 for 3 on the day with a double, a single, and a ground out to the third base side. Zomek delivers. That one's a bit low to even the count 1-1. Zomek, the same breed of pitcher, so it's a very specific breed of pitcher that Coach Casey is looking for. Guys who pound the zone and keep the opposing batters guessing, as Zomek continues that trend. 1-2 the count now for Nick Ferragine. Comes set, delivers in the dirt and low for ball 2. Zomek with his out of the stretch. Bobs. Swing and a miss for the strikeout. 2 outs now, and that'll be 14 strikeouts now for Zomek on the season.
Just overpowering the Lesley hitters here, keeping him off balance, and he's 1 out away from recording the save here.
Mike Slaby, 0 for 2 today. A little omission that I made as Zomek's off-speed pitch falls in for a strike is that an at-bat that does not count as a plate appearance, or a plate appearance that doesn't count as an at-bat, fielder's choice. If you reach on a fielder's choice, that's not actually an at-bat, I don't believe.
I think you're right.
Second off-speed pitch also falls in there for a strike, 0-2.
Of course, keeping the stats correct here. We always strive for factual accuracy.
Keeping it real. And to finish the game off, Zomek comes set, blazes one in there, but Slaby just barely gets a piece of that to keep the count at 0-2.
Come on, Dale.
Got a lot of baseball players up here in the booth with us, taking some film, cheering on Zomek, who comes set, delivers. Bit too low for Slaby to want to chase. He'll make the count 1-2.
Hey, good job today,
Zomek's still very much in control right now. Comes set with his bob, delivers in the dirt, 2-2. Still following that age-old tradition, and I don't think that's ever going to change. You know, a lot of stuff you can bring in instant replay. You can fill players' heads with thoughts on sabermetrics, but you're never going to want to pitch something hittable to a batter in an 0-2 or 1-2 count.
Very true.
Zomek's delivery popped up again. A little bit too much juice for us to make a play on, he says wistfully. So
just thinking the same thing myself.
It's all right. I'll get over it, I hope, so long as the Birnbaum brothers let me live it down. But we'll see about that. Count remains 2-2 for Mike Slaby. Zomek's delivery. In there for a called strike. Is dropped. Tagged out. And Zomek takes the save and strikes out the side, just exhibiting more of that overpowering strikeout ability that we were for.
And that's the ball game. It's going to be a 4-1 win here for Tufts. They sweep the doubleheader. RJ Hall gets the win, and Rory Zomek gets the save.
Maybe not quite the same explosive or expansive win with some of those 20-plus wins we've seen from the Jumbos in the past, but they do enough to get the job done. Tommy O'Hara definitely Tommy O'Hara and RJ Hall probably or rather, I know the Giants broadcast team does player of the game after each game. Well, I got to choose Tommy O'Hara, who's in a class with me here at Tufts. Just that patience paid off just so much in those first 2 at-bats. Unfortunate with the strikeout on his last at-bat, but just coming through with that home run, just beautiful. Absolutely beautiful.
Tommy O'Hara certainly, but RJ Hall, after a really rough first inning, gave up 4 hits, 1 run, in some deep trouble there, but got out of it and really settled down, just cruised through the rest of his 5 innings there. Excellent job by him, kept his teammates in the game until the offense could come through, and he will pick up the win today. A very nice pitching performance for him.
Well, that's all from us from Huskins Field. Join us again tomorrow when Tufts take on, I believe it was Keene State, right?
Keene State.
Keene State at 1 p.m. You'll hear the Birnbaum brothers take that one as Alec and I move behind the scenes tomorrow. But with that, I'm Andrew McMillan.
And I'm Alec Whipple, and thanks for listening.
See you back here at Huskins